You're watching BreakThru News.
I'm Charlotte Thun-Hohenstein, and you're watching BreakThru News on BTR Today. On today's show, we're looking at the future of fitness and the rise of virtual fitness classes. Joining me to discuss this is Kyra Johannesen, co-owner and trainer at Body and Pole dancing studio in Manhattan. Thank you, Kyra, for coming in today. And Graham Stanton, president of Peloton Cycle, a cycling studio that live streams classes into your very home. So, Kyra, let's start with the basics. Why is the group class experience so important to a fitness regime?
I think it's really important to have group fitness classes because you feed off the energy of the other students. You can see how far you can take something, and you get really that hands-on instruction from that instructor. As they're hearing cues for other students, you can take that on as yourself. So it's motivating, it's entertaining, and it's inspiring to work in group fitness.
Awesome. Well, so Graham, Peloton's entire business model is about being able to live stream this group experience, the spinning class, into wherever the customer wants to spin, wherever they have their bike. You guys have said this is what modern fitness looks like. Is this the future of fitness? And do you think that it especially applies to maybe urban living in cities?
Oh, we definitely think this is the future of fitness going forward. I'm actually not quite sure about the especially in cities part. I mean, we are big fans of group fitness in general, in person. I was showing off our studio here. We open this up to the public. We hope lots of people continue to come here. We just know the reality is that oftentimes you can't get to your local group fitness class, or there isn't one available. So perhaps this works even better outside cities. Though even within cities, it's tough to get that commute down. We founded this because we believe we can get 98% of the way there in simulating the in-person group experience at home.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's 100 though.
That's, 98% though is huge. 2% is almost negligible, I would say. No.
We do it through a lot of fancy technology, and it works because it's indoor cycling. It's common equipment. We sell a bike that is uniform, either in our studio or anywhere around the world where someone purchases it.
Yeah. Well, so Kyra, you have now also started at Body and Pole streaming. You both live stream classes, and you can get these classes on demand, and you set up Body and Pole TV. So this was not part of the studio or the business model at the beginning, as it is with Peloton. So why did you start this?
Well, why we started Body and Pole Television is the fact that we have really big names that teach at our studio, and we're a very popular studio all around the world, and people wanted that body and pole experience at home that couldn't get to New York City. So now we have our rock star instructors teaching their specialties, what they're great at, what they've trained years for, now able to come to you in Australia, in Germany, in France, all over the world, and get that instruction and get that body and pole experience.
And that's something that applies to Peloton as well, right? These really, really high quality instructors that now everyone can have access to.
Right, exactly. We from the beginning only planned on having one, maybe two studios, not 30, not 100. So we can get the best instructors for indoor cycling in the world, and we can have them all in one place, and for the exact same reason, it scales. That we don't need them to go to you. You can come to us virtually, and it works.
So Graham, you sort of touched on this just a minute ago. How do you translate the class energy across a screen?
Oh, it works. It works across the screen through a lot of effort we put into the cameras. We have 5 cameras around the room. We spent months producing in the back of our office, and then in the big studio we built. The trick was to make it not feel like it was an old-fashioned Jane Fonda DVD. We wanted to make it feel like you're actually in a class. This has to feel like it's live when it is live. This has to feel like you're participating with people. So we get the footage right, and then our hardware actually gives us an added advantage in that we have metrics on the bike. So people know how hard you're pedaling, know how fast you're pedaling, and the instructor does too. And so we actually have this live, real-time feedback that has never worked over the internet before.
Well, and if I understand it correctly, you can actually video chat with other cyclists before, during, and after the class. So you can, as you say, like interact real time with the other people in class.
Yes, absolutely. It's a video. We call it video chat, but I think people probably get this vision of just kind of actually chatting in class and being distracted and
well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, that would be distracting for me, but
it's actually a critical component that we will be using more and more. It's almost a passive thing. So if you and I are connected and we can just see each other's faces, that turns out to be enough. Just to be able to see that the other person is sweating is enough to motivate you into sweating. And it really brings people together. We didn't want the old working out at home experience, which is about as isolating as anything on earth. We wanted the as bonding as anything on earth experience of the group fitness of the classes where everyone's improving themselves together. And we wanted to be able to do this just spread out and virtually. And we found that was a very important part of it.
Well, and I feel like in a lot of those older fitness videos, you just don't see people sweating at all. It's just quite infuriating.
Yeah, no, they look perfect.
They look really,
That's
really
the thing.
smooth.
That's the thing too at BNP TV. It's it's in the room. It's in the actual classroom. We have we don't have all the students we have come. We limit it to a few students in the room, so you're having participants, and they also can chat with us. But we have a mediator ask the question, so I can answer a question for someone in Australia or Germany on where the right placement and alignment is, so that it has a more in-class experience.
Let's talk about that as well, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Kyra, was, do you think that virtual participation is appropriate for all types of classes and all types of sports? I mean, cycling seems much more straightforward. Something like pole dancing, that there must be risks for injury. Having that instructor on hand, I would think would be crucial.
If it's done correctly, it can be. For us, with our pole dancing classes, and then we're going to move into aerial dance classes as well. You need to make sure that you're not teaching to beginners, or you can't teach to a beginner. So you have in your descriptions, you've been taking for a while, you can complete these certain kinds of moves, and then each instructor also scales it back, has modifications to get it down to the fundamental that is safe. So you can't do it for beginners, but you can do it for higher level students. But at BNP TV, we do have conditioning classes that everybody can take that help you prepare yourself for the pole apparatus, and eventually the hoop apparatus and the fabric. Wow. So it's unfortunate. The thing with aerial, you have to be very comfortable to a certain level to do it like this. In spin, I think because you are grounded, you can go to all levels, but we have conditioning classes for that, and then you just have to have a little bit more in-class experience before having the live stream with us.
Well, we're going to take a quick break for this excerpt from a special episode of Live Studio featuring Cloud Becomes Your Hand. We'll be back in a moment. And we're back with Kyra and Graham talking about the rise of virtual fitness classes. Kyra, do you think that there's also the chance that as virtual classes become much more mainstream, that actually the physical group class, being in that room with the instructor, will also become more valuable, but just a more sort of niche experience for specific reasons?
Definitely. I think that especially in dance and movement, aerial dance, what we offer, the in-classroom experience always will be one that's more emotional connected, more it's more emotional, it's more physical, you can hands-on touch you can really feel that alignment in this modality. So I think that will be something special, especially if they can get it live stream and they can start learning from far away. It will drive people to want to come to New York City, to come to Body and Pole and have it here
in person.
Yeah.
So Graham, for you guys, how important, it sounds like it is actually very important, is the physical studio in New York for anchoring the whole experience? Because really that's the experience that you're sort of exporting to people.
Exactly, it's absolutely critical. If it's what we're exporting. So the studio is what is the anchor. It's what you're participating in. We're not doing this in some video game 3D environment. This is a real studio, real indoor cycling studio.
Maybe in 10 years' time, who knows?
Yeah, we'll see where the CGI gets to. But we have actually had people from across the country make a point to come around the studio on their trip to New York, and they'll say, hey Robin, hey Jess, you're my favorite instructor. I take your class all the time. I'm so excited to meet you in person.
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
it only works if it's a real thing. I mean, it's like the live studio audience. It makes the whole thing more real. It's the magic that gets bottled.
Exactly. And I totally agree with him. That's exactly what happens with us. Everybody comes in and then they have you and they're like, you are that funny. That wasn't a joke.
You're a real person who
exists. And you really do those kind of quirky things.
So Kyra, do you see virtual participation becoming a bigger part going forward? Is this something that you guys are going to push more? Yeah,
I think we're definitely going to push more. We have season 3 coming out in October. So right now we've done season 1 and 2, and you can get them downloadable as individual links or bundles, and then season 3 comes out in October where it's live streamed. So we're definitely.
So you live stream the seasons, which you can partake in as they're happening, and then after the fact you can also download them.
You can also download it, for sure.
So Graham, last question to you. Obviously technology is always progressing and you guys are extremely cutting edge right now, but what's the future for you guys? What's next for Peloton to sort of incorporate new technology as you think it might be coming up?
Well, we're always going to make sure that we fit into how people want to work out. So right now we have a piece of home fitness equipment. We have this indoor bike. What's immediately next is our iPad app, which has been kind of a side project for us, but if people end up bringing that to other bikes, we're totally okay with that. And if we want to move to other equipment in the future, and this company is about bringing people together for group fitness and shared experiences. And so if the whole world tells us that they want to do rowing classes or they want to do treadmill classes or elliptical classes, then obviously we'll move there too. Well, pole dancing is taken, so that's okay.
I got that one.
Thank you very much, Kyra and Graham, for joining me today. We'll be right back in a moment after this quick excerpt from our most recent edition to Serious Business on BTR TV featuring Robot Princess.
Everything. You're way too old for water wings. Rollers roll the mind control. The friction really.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm Charlotte Thun-Hohenstein and this is BreakThru News, your window into today. Be sure to check out breakthrouradio.com through the weekend for our continued Age Week coverage, including the story of how the parental advisory warning sticker that began gracing the album cover art in the 80s has had some unintended consequences. That's it for what's breaking through the news today. Tell us what's breaking through your world on Twitter @BreakThru Radio. I'm Charlotte Thun-Hohenstein and thank you for joining us.